SpongeBob led Lisa, Meg, Sandy, and Applejack into the tire store. He knew Shrek would be keeping the shard there. The Counter Wallaby was at the front desk per usual, but the store's owner, Wario, stepped out to greet them.
You are back,
he said.
I didn't expect to see you here again for a while, Spongebob.
Yeah? Well, I could have sworn I saw you at basement.
SpongeBob grumbled.
Oh, I assure you that I was not down there.
Well, you could have fooled me. Look at the size of this guy. He's got like 5 of them spitter arms coming out of his head.
That's what I thought.
Well, hey,
SpongeBob continued.
we need to borrow your shard of Excalibur.
I'm sorry, what?
Don't play dummy. I know Shrek hit it here.
I'm not playing dumb.
No, you don't. I can see it in your eyes. Come on, I know you got it.
How could I have it when Shrek has it?
Well, maybe you could ask him to give it back.
I'm not asking Shrek.
Well, maybe you should be.
Look, if I wanted to ask Shrek for a thing, I would make him give it to me in the first place.
Well, maybe you should try again. Ask him nicely.
Sandy suggested.
I think you've said enough. Were you?
SpongeBob said. Wario immediately took a hostile stance, ready to attack.
Wanna make sure that give it to you, you gonna pray?
Yeah, I'll try anything at this point.
Well, that's the spirit.
Ow.
Meg asked, breaking the tension.
Well, let us will just have to ask him.
Wario said, relaxing. Wario then walked over to a display and pulled out a small gun, similar to the one he'd used to shoot the dragon.
Hey, Shrek, I got a question for you.
What?
Shrek asked, entering from a side door.
I was wondering if you could give me the shard it up.
Oh, is that all you want to ask?
Well, I can't think of anything else.
That's disappointing, because I was hoping you'd say something clever.
Like what?
Shrek shrugged.
I don't know. Something witty. You're good at that. I've seen you.
Never mind all that.
SpongeBob said.
Do you have the shard, or haven't ya?
Yeah, I've got it.
Well, then give it to me.
That's the thing.
Shrek said.
I don't want you to have to steal my treasure.
I'm not gonna steal it.
SpongeBob said.
Well, I want you to respect my property.
Hey, if you don't want to share, that's fine. You do you.
No need to be rude.
Okay, you got me.
SpongeBob said, smiling. He then reached into his pocket and withdrew the shards of Excalibur.
Ta-da!
Hey, those are my shards.
When did you get that?
Lisa asked, puzzled.
Never doubt the SpongeBob sleight of hand.
SpongeBob said with a sly wink.
I didn't know you were a magician.
Meg said.
That's not surprising considering you've been hanging out with a rock all your life.
Sandy said.
You've got a point.
Wario added.
He's not a rock. He just lives under one.
SpongeBob said, stuffing the shards back into his pocket.
Well, I'm gonna be off.
Shrek said.
Good doing business with you, boys.
Wait,
Wario exclaimed.
you are not staying for dinner.
No, I don't think I can stomach any more of your cooking.
Really? I usually get a lot of compliments on it.
I'm really not that hungry.
Come on, you gotta eat something. It's just me on Rocco Hill most nights.
Really? I don't feel like it.
Well, I guess you can come to the village later if you feel gotta stay.
Sounds good to me.
Meg said.
That's it.
Lisa said.
We got what we came for.
SpongeBob said with a shrug.
Just tell me one thing.
Shrek said.
What are you collecting the shards for? The Nightmare Tyrant's defeated, isn't he?
Seems like it, but you never know. Sometimes the darkness can hide in the light.
Lisa said, looking at the ring on her finger.
I must say, you still surprise me.
Shrek mused.
A little thing like you's been causing big waves.
Lisa smirked.
Better to be the king's enemy than his friend.
I guess so. Whoa.
Shrek responded.
Well, bye-bye.
Lisa said, waving. Shrek watched them leave, an uneasy feeling in his stomach. He felt like something was just unleashed, and he was the one who did it.
I hope I didn't just unleash something terrible.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time with it.
Wario asked.
It's the older generation's problem now.
What's the matter, Shrek?
Rocco asked.
Come on, don't be such a baby.
I'm not.
Shrek sighed.
That's right.
Wario said, rolling his eyes.
You're too tough for that.
I just hope I didn't put us in danger for nothing.
Shrek said.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Wario shrugged. Meanwhile, Lisa, Meg, Applejack, Sandy, and SpongeBob all climbed back into their truck.
Where to now?
Meg asked.
Do we even know where the other shards are?
I know where Excalibur was.
Applejack said.
The location of the final shard of Excalibur is hidden in the depth of the Forbidden Forest. It requires a roll scroll to access.
What the heck is a roll scroll?
Sandy asked.
It's a magical parchment that lets you bypass the usual rules of nature and use magic anywhere.
Meg explained.
That's a lot of power.
Sandy said, shivering.
That's valuable, ain't it?
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Applejack said.
I'm sure there's some pony who would like to get their hoof on that scroll for themselves.
Like who?
Oh,
Sandy asked.
well, Spike for one.
Applejack replied.
Is Spike also searching for the shards of Excalibur?
Lisa asked, surprised.
Yes'm, little lady.
Applejack replied.
I heard Nightmare trying Fluttershy test him with the quest.
Why would she do that?
Lisa asked, bewildered.
What's a mercenary?
Meg said.
He does whatever he's told.
Whatever.
Sandy said, rolling her eyes.
Guess we're going to the Forbidden Forest. We don't have a royal scroll.
Lisa reminded them all.
It'll be okay.
Applejack said.
I know a way in.
How?
Lisa asked.
Spike's got a network of magical paths and portals throughout the forest.
Applejack said.
We just gotta follow them.
I still don't see why Fluttershy would send him.
Beats me.
Applejack replied.
Do you know where he is?
Last I heard, he was in the Emerald City.
SpongeBob said.
That was weeks ago. So, he could be anywhere by now.
We could go look.
Lisa said.
You heard the lady.
Applejack said.
Follow me and let's go.
Following Applejack's directions, the group drove their truck down a secret path that led directly into the Forbidden Forest. After driving down the path for a few minutes, they turned onto what seemed to be a familiar road.
That's the Swordner's Path.
Meg said, pointing at the sign.
We found it in the maps. Princesses Cadence and Shining Dragon told me about it.
Applejack nodded.
According to the maps, this is the road that leads to the ruins of Castle Never.
They've been there.
Sandy exclaimed.
Man, I've been there.
Applejack smirked.
Good old Spike.
She muttered. They drove down the road, which, according to the sign, was paved in gold. The sun was low in the sky, and its rays painted fiery hues on the clouds. The skies and the sea were almost exactly the same color.
It's beautiful.
Lisa whispered. Applejack turned on a side road, and the group got out of the truck.
Okay,
Applejack put her hooves on her hips.
this is the spot. There should be a hole in the wall.
Like a glory hole.
SpongeBob asked, wiggling his eyebrows.
I can't see anything.
Meg said.
I see it.
Sandy pointed at the wall.
What is that? Looks like a door.
Lisa said.
Applejack, are you sure about this?
Trust me, honey.
Applejack said.
Spike's a professional. I know him.
Applejack put her hoof on the wall and leaned forward. Her face was only a few inches from the wall, which was a good thing because her face was the only thing that would show. Applejack put her head inside the hole and turned to the others.
Okay,
She said.
it's clear on the other side. Follow me and let's go.
Applejack put her hoof on the wall again. She pushed down on it and it opened with a low rumble.
We should close the door.
Meg said nervously.
We'll be fine.
Applejack replied.
It opens out, remember? We go in, close it, turn the wheel, and go out the same way we came in.
I remember the door.
Lisa said. Applejack nodded.
Then let's do it.
Applejack led the group through the door and into the darkness. Just before they stepped through the threshold, Meg turned around and looked at the door. It was a perfect cube, with the numbers and lettering on each side. Meg realized she was holding her breath. Lisa took her hand.
Don't be afraid.
She said.
I'm here.
Meg let out a long sigh of relief and stepped through the doorway. The others quickly joined her.
Well,
Applejack said. Sandy stepped through and the door clicked shut. They found themselves in a circular room, lit by a dozen purple lights in the ceiling. The walls were made of glass and it was filled with the glowing lights of thousands of fish. The fish were of various shapes and sizes, from small blue fish to enormous orange sea monsters with long tentacles. A few tried to escape the room, but the glass kept them contained.
Hello.
Meg called.
Hello.
A deep, rumbling voice came from the darkness beyond the light's glow.
You must be the human girl.
We are.
Meg replied.
You have come to save the world as promised.
The voice continued.
who are you?
Applejack asked.
I am Zoidberg, the stone-tipped master of the House of Finn. The dweller within Glorfindel and I have come to help you.
Who's Glorfindel?
Meg asked.
The leader of the Elvish race.
Zoidberg replied.
He will decide if you are worthy of his help.
Zoidberg waddled forward until he was inches away from the group. His long purple tongue darted out and licked the air.
How can we trust you?
Lisa asked.
You can't.
Zoidberg said.
But you don't look dangerous.
Meg said.
I'm a friendly guy.
Zoidberg said.
Why are you here?
Meg explained their quest. Zoidberg whistled.
This is a dangerous quest.
We know.
Applejack said.
That's why we're taking your advice.
What do you mean?
Meg asked.
You'll see.
Zoidberg looked around the room, then turned to Meg.
Do you know the way out of here?
Yes.
Meg said.
But I don't know if we can get past Glorfindel.
Glorfindel is a powerful elf.
Zoidberg said.
You made Glorfindel up.
Sandy said.
We didn't see any elves on our way in.
Glorfindel is a real person.
Applejack said.
The most powerful elf alive.
Oh,
Meg said.
Even so, he's not here.
Sandy persisted.
How do we know that the voice is really him? Maybe it's some sort of prank or something.
My dear,
Zoidberg said.
this is my unnatural sneaking voice, lovely though it seems.
Oh!
Sandy said in relief. Zoidberg turned back to the group.
We must go to the chamber of the heart. Follow me, if you will.
He waddled away. Sandy, Lisa, and Meg followed him. Applejack lingered in the doorway, still not quite convinced that this wasn't all a dream. She turned around several times before she finally followed them. They emerged from the room into a marble hallway lit by torches, statues and mirrors all along the walls. Zoidberg pointed with one claw to a large egg-shaped door.
That is the chamber of the heart, my dears,
He said.
It is only opened by the most powerful of villains, Glorfindel, or one of his powerful servants. Now follow me.
Lisa, Meg, and Sandy followed Zoidberg down a hall and up a spiral staircase. SpongeBob and Applejack followed close behind. They came to a large room in the center of the tower.
This is the throne room.
Who's throne?
Lisa asked.
It is the throne of King Arthur.
Zoidberg said.
Arthur, King Arthur.
Meg said.
But that's a story. That didn't really happen.
That is a story you'll come to realize.
Zoidberg said.
This lobster's full of lies.
Sandy said.
There's no way this was Arthur's throne, and this place has nothing to do with Glorfindel.
Perhaps.
Zoidberg said.
But Arthur is the only other powerful villain, thus he has the only real throne.
Sandy whacked Zoidberg on the head.
Oh, it hurt.
You're crazy.
She muttered. Zoidberg led them past the throne, through a door and into a dimly lit room. In the center of the room was a spiral staircase. They climbed this one and emerged in a small room with 2 doors. Zoidberg opened one and ushered them through.
This is the chamber of the heart.
He said. They stepped through the door and into darkness.
Where's the light?
Lisa asked.
We are in darkness.
Meg said.
I have a flashlight in my backpack.
Sandy said. She fished it out and clicked it on. There was a small, flickering light, and their eyes slowly adjusted. A circular chamber stretched out before them, with a circular room in the middle, a slight glow coming from the walls. In the middle of the chamber was a circular dais, with a raised throne in the center.
It's beautiful.
Lisa said.
Now,
Meg asked.
The door.
Zoidberg said.
It's very important that you close that door behind you.
Why?
I don't know why,
Zoidberg said.
but the door must be closed or you will die.
Great.
Sandy said. So they shut the door.
I don't see any other doors.
Meg said.
What's on the other side of this one?
Nothing.
Zoidberg said.
Just endless darkness.
Is this where the shard is?
Lisa asked. The ring on her finger itched. She wished she could scratch it.
Yes, come along. We must go to the corridor.
Zoidberg waddled over to the door and turned a knob. The seat of the throne opened up and a glass case rose up out of it. Inside the case was a shard of Excalibur.
Well, that's the end of the story.
Applejack said.
Did it ever occur to you that the Nightmare King was just a figment of your imagination?
I guess not.
Lisa said.
But he was real and out to kill you.
Well, yes.
Applejack said.
But that's the beauty of the story. It's all in the reader's mind. I mean, that's what art's all about.
I guess.
Anyway, I just wanted to make the point that the story is all in your head. I only hope it gave you some new ideas, did it?
Yes.
Lisa said. She reached for the case, lifting it. She grabbed the shard and she felt a pulse of energy flow through her.
Well, don't get too carried away.
SpongeBob said. He was watching her closely.
The Nightmare King is still out there.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Applejack asked.
Come on, let's go kill him.
He's not out there.
Lisa said as she pocketed the shard. She held up her hand bearing the Ring of Solomon.
He's in here.
Lisa, Applejack, and the rest of the group marched out of the tower.
So that's the end of the story.
Meg said.
Well,
Sandy said.
I hope it gave you some more ideas. I certainly enjoyed reading it. Thank you for the great story.
Lisa said.
I cannot wait to write my own story.
Me neither.
So the AI got a little weird and like fourth wall breaky at the end there, didn't it? I'm not really sure what was up with that, but I thought it was funny, so I left it in. I'd really planned for this chapter to focus more on Shrek and Wario and that group, but the story kind of just naturally moved on from there, and we got an interesting new character guarding one of the other shards. I don't know if we'll see Zoidberg again, but I really like how he was written here, even if I still don't really know for sure how much of what he told our heroes was actually true. It seemed like even the AI wasn't sure if he was lying. At any rate, that's all for this chapter. I hope you enjoyed it, but I think it's time we leave these characters for a little bit. I want to go check in on Anne, Ginny, Shadow, and Beatrice and see what they're up to, so we'll do that in the next chapter. Up to see you all then, and if you happen to miss the previous chapter, here's a little clip.
Hello, Mr. Squarepants.
Lisa said.
I came to get.
You came to steal.
SpongeBob shouted.
I'll never forgive this.
Oh, gosh.
Meg said, blushing. Lisa said, as calmly as she could.
We came to get one shard of the sword Excalibur for our school.
You're lying.
SpongeBob said.
We really came to get it for our dad.
Meg said.
Your dad is a crook.
No, he's not.
Meg said. Lisa sighed.
He wants to build a shopping plaza in Springfield.
I don't give 2 squirts of poobah hair for your feather.